they said you'll have a relapse of cancer. You might have to remove your uterus. Some people ask me, how come you're so strong? I said, that's the only option I give to myself.
How did you start looking at life post your cancer treatment?
जो करना बस आज में है, कल का मुझे पता नहीं. She's like, how old are you? I said, I'm 31. A girl of 31 comes to me and tell me you can remove my uterus is something that I've never seen in my 35 years career, she told me. As a woman, you had a breast surgery, you had a uterus, they have removed uterus, ovary, they have cut your stomach, they have cut your breast, everything. You're talking to me so easily. Welcome to the life, I said.
How did this entrepreneurship come in you?
A woman, a girl should do any business and all, either from father's money or once you get married, the husband's money. That's what I've been learned. My own parents left me when I was very young. I would have not minded if my parents was poor and they left me. I minded because I was a girl and they left me. So that's something I could not accept. I was too hungry and I was sitting on one side of the road. I just picked up those small stones and I ate. That is something I'll never ever forget in my life. I think that's the reason I'm on a F&B business.
Most people only live one life. Few are lucky to get a second one. But my guest today is a rarity. She is gracefully living her third life. A woman who redefined what it means to survive, to rebel, and to simply live. I welcome Sarita Sarkar, who believes in not just breathing her life, but blooming with one.
Hi, good morning, Joy.
Morning, how are you?
I'm doing very well.
I'm so happy to be at your Cafe Medicare and recording this
Thank
together.
you so much. My pleasure.
If you had to put it in words, how would you describe your third life?
I think, as the other day I was mentioning, I have taken life as today's the everything, right? I don't know about the tomorrow. So I tell people, I can commit you about today. I can tell you everything about the today. In Hindi ऐसे कल का मुझे भरोसा नहीं तो जो है बस आज में है. So that's I started living for just for the today, I don't think, of course, being a human being, that's how we have been conditioned, like, we have to think for the future, keep it reserved for the future and all. That is there, but very limited set of, things that I'm doing it. Whatever I'm doing, I'm just living for today and I'm doing whatever I could do for the people around me. Especially with my, the business I do, with the surroundings that I do, and my traveling. I kept on hold my traveling for a longer time when I was doing Sarkar Kitchen. I thought, oh, next time. But after this kind of, when I believe that's my third life, I just said, no, boss, jana hai to aaj hi jana hai, that's it.
Okay.
So I just, whenever I feel, I pack my bag and move around. And whatever happen, let it be happen. It's okay.
Okay. So, जिंदगी एकदम खुल के जीना है.
बिल्कुल.
तो आप पहले भी ऐसे ही थे और it was just after your
पहले I was very different, कि मेरा पहले मुझे लगता था कि no, you have to keep everything for the future. Like if say I want to say, for example, I want to eat crab. Okay, I love crab, for example. I said, oh no, today is limited. I should eat next time because I'm already eating so much food and all. But now I was like, nee, I feel like eating, right? I'll eat now.
Okay.
I don't know. That's it. Okay, let it be my weight, let it be my financial everything. I'll see it later, but I'll eat now. That's how I become life.
एकदम जिंदा.
So I just live for today.
Nice. So what you did with your life, do you think that was rebellious or strength?
It's both actually mixed. Reason, I was always I was a very happy-go-lucky type person. I was very joyful. I was very talkative. Everything as a person, as a nature-wise. But having said that, I always try to keep everything inside me. I try to, press my expression or the feeling everything so much that I started getting a health issues, and that's what we realized. When I got first time cancer, they told me you look so fit and everything, but how come this happened? And I said, okay, maybe I was running a Sarkar Kitchen, I was on a peak, and I was stressed, maybe for the multiple reasons, personally, business wise, everything. But when I got detected with that, I was too young for the breast cancer. That is a high grade one. So after, I'm telling you, we didn't know. I mean, I was not sure whether I'll come out of the operation theatre or not. But when I came out of the operation theatre, my doctor woke me up after say 10 to 12 hours. He's like, hey, listen, get up, ho gaya. And I like, okay. So when can you go back to the work? And he's like, started laughing, and that's what I like. The moment I came from the unconscious or the anesthesia, like, when can I go back to the work? And second thing, I asked him, like, which part of my body you cut? Because they told me if they have to replace and reconstruction, they will cut my stomach or they'll cut my thigh or they'll cut my back. Because they have to reconstruction. I was too young. Rather than silicone, I was with my own skin and all. So I said, I always wanted, I said, hey, you can cut my thigh. They're like, this thing. So they, no, we cut your back only.
Okay.
So you will recover in 6 months. Karke. I said, fine. That's the thing. And still, when I was on a bed, I was resting and all. That day I realized, like, what is life and why are we struggling so much for what? So I had a choice whether I take a less stress and run the things. And then eventually, but still, again, second part of me was like, I have taken care of the people responsibility, right? It's my responsibility to take care of them.
Okay.
So both the things was there in my mind. I was also trying to understand my own self as a person. I was trying to, evolve around. I was too young, 26, 27, how much you how much you understand. But, that 6 month bed rest gave me a lots and lots of experience of life. I also have gone through a lot of personal issues too. I have developed with the, I think the courage or the strength, I don't know what is it, but, or maybe you can say the hunger for a better life, the hunger to take risks, to absorb risk and come beyond this. That's something which I really enjoy. Some people ask me, right, how come you're so strong? I said, that's the only option I give to myself. I don't give any other option. I always say that if I have to do this, I have to do this. There's no other option for me. So that's it.
So do you think every woman has this and they don't use this power?
Yes. Yeah, I can say that not of the women, it's for the everyone. So I don't take myself as a women or I don't take as, this thing, because I feel somehow I got that very manly, maybe the approach also. I got very, and I also have in me, I have a child, I have a very old person, I have like everything mixed in me. That's what I realized, it's like, I always, the human brain is so complicated to understand for themselves as well. Every time it's moving around, every time it's thinking so much, every time it's exploring, every time it's very keen to know the new thing, right? So I feel that like not only in India but all across the world, somehow the family teaches women that you're this is the only this is a limit, you can't do more than that. And some people like they want a comfort zone. So when I was coming out of something which is very difficult, even my own parents told me, like my father, like, difficult for you, why you want to do this? Just settle down, just accept the reality, just accept this thing. I said, no, that's not me and I will not do it. I told him, if required, I'll not ask you any support, any help, but don't worry, I'll figure out my own things, but I'll not stay where I'm not respected. Because my aunt told me, I'm very close to my aunt. I also believe, and my aunt told me, you can live without respect, without money or without love, but you can't live without respect, and that's something which I felt is the most important for me.
It is.
That too, especially in any kind of relationship, because it's okay, rest all you can adjust. And I feel any relation or anything is like nowadays like a want, because nothing is a need anymore for a fact. We all earn by ourselves, we all live by ourselves. Having said that, I've met a lot of my friends, so the women who will crib about their life, but they want to be because they want the comfort zone. So I don't blame people, I don't blame any gender, I don't blame anybody. Your circumstances, I think it's in your hand, how you change it.
So how did this stubbornness of entrepreneurship come in you, and if you can enlighten us on this?
The very funny, like I was very young, maybe 7 or 8 year old when I decided. I cooked for my birthday. I made chole and bhature with one of my aunt helped me, my family friend, and my mom and all this thing. So I was cooking and I was cooking pretty well. So my aunt is like, hey, you should open a restaurant when you grow up. You do very well cooking. I said, of course, for sure, I'll do that. So when I was, when I was doing my 10th, also my parents did something and all. So we were happening and all. When I joined, Trident Oberoi as a GM secretary, I was youngest GM secretary in the Oberoi. Generally, they're 35 and above, but I was like hardly 19 or 20-year-old when I joined. So I was one of the youngest. But I realized that I would never listen to my bosses. It's not that is not in a disrespectful or not in a egoistic way. It is that my creative mind was too high.
Okay.
And for example, my boss is saying something, I'll keep listening, but I want to, I was in my brain.
You still want to use your mind.
I was like, I have to tell him, I have to have better suggestion, I have to have better solution. So I was and he can see my face, and my face is very excited to tell something. And he asked me, what's this? I was like, you told me this way, but I think I can do that way. Okay, that's better, that's easier. After that, like, you do whatever you want. End of the day, you don't listen to me. So my boss told me that, he told me that time, Sarita, you'll be very good as your own, creative boss, own, maybe the setup, cause you're very keen what you do and you're very creative. Your mind is like jumping from here to there. It won't work under a corporate world or anywhere. But I was too young and hardly will have any money, right? So I said, yeah, but then how will I get a funding? So that's why he said, you look for the different job also. I worked with him for 1.5 years. I call him Papa.
Okay.
Then I joined Facebook India. But that time also I had always had a feeling, okay, I want to do a restaurant, but only I will do after maybe once I'm 30 or I'm married, because that's how been taught by all of us across the place, a woman, a girl should do any business and all, either from father's money or once you get married, your husband's money. That's what I have been learned.
Correct.
I'm 10 years
That's
back.
what we have been taught.
Yeah. So I also thought, okay, okay, once I'm 30 and or something, or once I, married and all, I'll do a business. But few circumstances happened during I was on Facebook. So I still remember Sarkar Kitchen name came because I met this person called Jason. So he asked me, like, what do you want to do? I said, like, in 5 years. They asked, that's a common question. Like, I said, I want to open a restaurant. And he's like, what do you want to name as? I just said, Sarkar Kitchen. He's like, why? I said, people call me Sarkar and I'm in kitchen maximum time. So that's a Sarkar Kitchen.
Okay.
And that actually happened to brand. That's happened to be a very good brand. Touch brand. I'm very proud what I did. And we got lots and lots of awards, recognition. We got a good names. Today also, even in my, Madikeri or Bagh Beans, half of the people know me because of Sarkar Kitchen. We could do good in Madikeri because of the Sarkar Kitchen already had a good follow of people and all this. Now
Correct.
also people keep asking me. Even yesterday I got a call. Ma'am, why did you close the restaurant? Why are you not opening? When are you opening? I said, yeah, I will restart. I paused for a while.
But why did you shut it?
Of course, I could not manage. I had too many things. Plus, in terms of, as I told you, health also was taking a lot of toll because, again, I had a kind of a relapse, because of my other, I had a fibroid and I kind of a relapse in 2023 ending. So that was also become a challenging, 23 March. So that was challenging. So I thought, again, I got some, rheumatologist, arthritis and all, because of which I fell down and broke my bones and all. So I thought, okay, I will restart again. On 10 years, I ran such this. After 10 years, you need a break.
Okay.
And Madikeri was there. I had 2 Madikeris at Bagh Beans at consultancy firm, like too many things for me.
Okay. So 3 turning point of your life, and why do you think they are so important to you?
A lot of people now, they know that I'm an adopted child. So I think when I was a kid, that was a lot of turning point. When I met my current parents, that's the turning point for me. When I started studying at the age of 7, 8, I started learning ABCD. And I did everything from home. I didn't go to the proper school. I just went for the exam, maybe 10th exam I went. That was a government school. Then I did everything, everything from home, correspondence and all. Turning point, as I told you, is very difficult for me to say one point because there are so many. Every step has been a turning point for me. My childhood being one of the biggest trauma. There are times when I feel it's very painful. There are times I feel like why it happened. I still feel like why. But then I think that why made me who I am today. If I'm Sarita Sarkar today, what happened with me when I was a child. So that, and if the turning point, maybe my parents started taking care of me, the current parents.
What happened? Why this adoption happened?
My own parents left me when I was born, very young age. I don't even know the exact age, but then they sent me with someone to Bihar, and that was the more disaster. But that's why I met my current parents, where they kept me for, my current parents was very young couple, like 26-year-old doctors and all. They had no idea what to do and, what they wanted. They were just looking someone to take care of the house. But I happened to bump into their life.
Okay.
So now that's, Sarkar is my parents' name, and that's what I use. They never thought, as I told you, for them also.
Correct.
I always see from my point of view, but and I get angry sometimes because I want to go to regular school. They didn't put me in the regular schooling. There are a lot of things, other things I think that they should have done better. But when I see the other, other way, I think, they don't have a responsibility to me, but they have done so much for me. My parents, who I was their responsibility, they just throw me on the road. So I think the current parents who did so much for me is like they kept me safe. They give me a life
Right.
more educated or made more kind of a safe and all. I think that's the biggest thing I came across. That was turning point. My biological parents come from a good family. It's not that they are poor or anything. I would have not minded if my parents was poor and they left me. I minded because I was a girl and they left me. So that's something I could not accept.
What was your age then?
I don't remember, but I had to meet them because of circumstances. I had to meet them again when I was 9 or 10 year old. So that's
Okay.
how I remember everything. Before that, I forgot everything anyway, which was too young. Maybe
Okay.
3, 4 years. I don't know. Very too young, but I know.
Okay.
I still remember, and that's a kind of a nightmare which I'll never forget my entire life. I was too hungry, and I was sitting on one side of the road. I was so hungry that I just picked up those small stones and I ate. That is something I'll never ever forget in my life. So that's the thing that I think that's the reason I'm on a F&B business. I feel that. Plus, I like feeding people. I like to cook for people and all. And I know, like compliment with I can't do so much, right? That's how the F&B business happened. And I feel happy when people run their family. The other thing is my team members. I feel very happy when they run their family with, because we are taking care of them. When I had a Sarkar Kitchen, I had many people. I did for a lot of people. Few people misused, few people respected. There's a guy called Bishu with us, very young guy. He joined me when he was 14-year-old, hardly like an underage. He just joined me for the onion cutting as a cutter. But today he's like kind of his training as a barista. He's a chef. He's been doing wonderful and he started his own business in the village when he started the DJ system and he's building his house for his parents. He came with a 5,000 salary, but today he's building a house for the parents. That's what matters. A lot of things. I'm not doing anything for me right now. Like that's what I have enough that I can sit and eat. But for me, it's more of a society responsibility. When I take care of them, I'm sure they'll have a better life. So today, like I came to this level because my parents took care of me. My friends took care of me, the surrounding took care of me. So
Definitely.
that's something always I say, you have to give back to the society. What do you get?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why my turning points. I'm telling you that n number of times. But yeah, maybe the childhood is the something that's one of the biggest turning point, and which when you say that it's very difficult to look into yourself. It's very difficult to accept your mistake. It's very difficult to understand. You are exploring the world or yourself and all. But I think for me, when I keep changing my childhood things and the more acceptance. Like today, I feel very proud. I'm not even crying. There's no tears in my eyes when I'm talking. I'm telling you, till last interview, every time I would cry. Every time. But someone told me long back, the more you talk, the more you express, the more you heal from inside. So the thing is that in India especially, they always teach you to hide, especially being a woman. I'll be very honest, my dad, when I had a surgery and then we had I was opening my big restaurant. I wore a black backless blouse. My dad told me, you should hide it. Why are you showing? You should just wear something which is close because people will come to know you're too young, you had a surgery, you had this thing. I said, I'm proud of my scars and people should know who I am. Don't go by only my face. But this is why if you be my friend, if you want to come close to me, you should understand who I am. I'm built with my scars and I'm proudly carry my scars. And that's what we all should do that rather than hiding.
True.
They just see a lot of people say, oh, you're so lucky, God in this. I always say. And I say, and there are a few girls who say, yeah, I want to have a life like you. I pray, so please don't even say that. I know who I am. I know where I come from.
How it took.
How
to
it
build
took
this.
and how I survived. It's me.
Yes.
So there's sometime in the mind it might come, why this? Just settle down, just sit down. Why do you take so much of responsibility? But that doesn't come to my mind. Mama, next what I'm gonna do? Okay, this happened. Next what? Next one. That's how I train my mind. I believe in training my mind.
That's brilliant. I like the way you have the energy for work, the passion that you have.
Oh, it's like it's my lifeline. I always say that my work is my lifeline. I don't know. I can't see myself. I can't see Sarita Sarkar without my work.
What if when you're not working, what do you do?
It's very difficult because always I'm working the funniest part, or I'm traveling, or I'm again exploring for the new work.
So there is nothing apart from work that gives you kick.
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Maybe they're just traveling, they're exploring. If you say kick, maybe when I explored, I went to the Kashmir, and I learned a lot of time when I'm traveling, and My grandmom told me, like my current parents, my mom's mom told me when I was very young, don't look the above. Okay, you look above the people or the people who are higher than you just to learn. But when you want to feel that you're lack of something or you're lacking in something or you don't have in life, just see the people who are below you. So I went to Kashmir. My parents took me, like we all went to the Kashmir. I saw the life there. I'm telling you, when I come back and that time also I observe, we are so bloody lucky. We don't respect what we have. We are secured. We are something.
But they usually say city life is easier than what you see in towns.
Exactly. So then after that, I always, we are so lucky today. Also, I always tell whenever somebody creep, even whenever I feel like, whenever I feel low, my aunt told me this thing. She told me like, whenever you feel low, just look your life back. Though you don't have to see anybody else. Just look your life back, how from where you have come. You'll be like, oh bloody, I have done so much. This is nothing now.
So, how did you start looking at life post your cancer treatment?
As I mentioned, that I started living for just for a day, and
Take
like
Day as it comes.
day as it comes. Like for example, okay, today I'll see, and also I believe I follow Sadhguru. He says that whether you don't know if you can get up tomorrow or not. If you get up, you are very lucky. So as I told you, whatever मुझे जो करना बस आज में है, कल का मुझे पता नहीं. I started feeling that. For example, I'll say, hey Joe, let's do, let's tomorrow let's go to this place, let's go to Himalayan. You say, hey, let's go Sarita, let's go. And I'm very decided I'm going to go. I'll do every hard work, I'll do the every backup work and all this thing. And I'll tell you, I'll believe that you'll come with me. But back of my mind will prepare. She might not come, but I have to go because I will go. That's how I become. I might trust you. I will, always say that, I trust people. I believe. But my backup mind will keep preparing for myself. If they come, is well and good. But you remember one
You
thing,
don't
it's your
want to
journey.
be dependent on anybody
Always,
in any way.
always, not in a single thing. And always it says that it's your journey. If somebody doesn't come, don't blame them. Okay,
Correct.
just do what you're supposed to do. That's something which taught me life. After COVID and all, we learn a lot from the COVID. There's a Amitabh Bachchan's line. It says, "जब गिरे तो पता चला कि हाथ किसके उठते हैं."
किसके होते हैं? True.
Cancer was one incident. After COVID, I lost everything. We went to the bankruptcy, so we went, crowdfunding and all these things. One of my friend who always, close to me, she is like, oh, you were earning 20 lakhs till a month back and now you are doing crowdfunding on 10 lakhs. It feels so sad, no? I said, no, it doesn't feel sad. I have to save my people. I have to save my life. It doesn't
Correct.
feel sad to me. For me, when I think, what people talk behind matter than what I see in the front.
True. The world is full of masks. Who or what, according to you, are real human?
I feel that that is there, world is full of masks, but at the same time, I feel that we all, when I say I keep looking into my own life and own self and inside me, I keep trying to even because see, we always that's a society has conditioned us. You have to show the good face, good face, good face. Every day I come with open with one mask. Every day I said no, this is how I am. For example, I want to see someone, I want to date someone, I always say that one of the best part. But now I say, boss, this is what I am. I'm happy in my skin, but I'm damaged multiple way. I have a lot of scars, I have a lot of surgery. If you accept, doesn't accept, it's okay, no problem. This life is the world is too big. I say very clearly. One more thing, I say when things whenever things hurt you the most, I think I've conditioned my mind that way. I start forgetting people. I want to forget people.
Okay.
My friend was laughing yesterday. I said, you got a good train. I said, I've trained over the time because I've gone through so much pain that I couldn't come over. What I told my mind, don't want to blame anybody, don't want to be angry with my own self, don't want to hate myself, don't want to hate anybody else. Just forgive, but don't forget.
You have accepted so much in life. What does this word have value in your life? The word acceptance.
I think I have accepted and enjoyed through. This is my journey, I read a lot. I listen to people. Sometimes, sometimes I also even I think that I talk more and I don't listen to people. I keep conditioning my mind. No, I have to when I meet a new person, when I meet somebody, who's been doing great in life, I have to listen to him. So for me, always I had some mentored life in my life. So acceptance is I have accepted beautifully. I have not accepted forcefully. अरे क्यों ऐसा? You just have to accept. No, I didn't take it that way. It's okay. It's happened. Let's do it.
Put it across very politely and
Absolutely. I said it's okay,
sweetly.
fine. I always tell people very clearly. I tell them face also sometimes. It's like, okay, what you did is not right, but it's fine. our path doesn't match. That's it. Okay, life is too big. I might find somebody else. I might find something else.
But this is how you have been always the softer version of what you are now, or is it the cancer that has taught you this?
I was too weak. I was too weak. I was too soft. I was always, people say I was always a very good human being, very, very soft. Rather, I was too caring to other people. I was a fool rather.
Okay.
But now also, if I'm softer also, but I've become softer with a very sharp mind. I've become softer with a very practical thing. Previously, I said, I'll jump. Oh, she promised me this will happen. Now, so okay, she promised, nice, happens, that's fine. If it doesn't happen, I have to accept and move ahead. It's okay. Because everybody, like, sometimes we also, the reason, the reason why you accept the other person's mistake or the other person, not mistake, even though if they can't commit your, they can't fulfill their commitment, and you'll forgive them because you think yourself also. I always say, if somebody has left you, I'm sure you must have left somebody else also. You must have left someone, right? That's the cycle.
Basically, it's what goes around comes around.
And it's a cycle.
Yes.
It's just that when we commit mistake, we don't see that. We feel we didn't cheat people. How can they cheat us? But I'm sure somewhere or another you must have done knowingly and unknowingly.
True.
So that's how I feel. Your acceptance is something, and enjoying the life, whatever way it has come. There's two choices. Either I always say, either you sit and cry, or you get up and run. That's the only choice I have for myself, and that's what I always think to tell people.
Okay.
So when people say, "Oh, so sad," I said, "Why sad? What is there to be sad? It's okay. It happens."
What keeps you going when things are tough around you?
I think my my brain, yeah, because I want to do this and I want to do so many things. And as I told you, whenever I'm low, as of course, even it's not that I don't feel low, I feel low a lot. Now it has gone down because I kept myself so busy. One of my friend, very close friend of mine, she asked me, "Do you keep yourself busy because you like it and you like working? Otherwise, do you keep you busy to not to feel the pain?"
Correct.
I said both. I initially thought, yeah, I'm just to kill my pain, I'm trying to keep myself busy. Later on, I realized it's both. It may be harmful for me for the long run, but as I told you, well, किसने देखा है? Though I'm 34 now, but I'm living a life of 34, 35 now. But I'm living a life of as if somebody has been there for 60, 70 years. So someone told me, sometimes God always tests you. And I think I'm one of the God's favorite kid whom he kept testing, but he always kept supporting me, kept helping me. I'm not a person who go to temple, but I believe over here. I believe that there's always a superpower who's always keeping me protected, who's always taking care of me when I'm alone also. So that's the faith.
Yes, God has to be within and not temples.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So that's what I believe in all this thing. Having said that, I also do mistake. I cry sometimes. There was a time when I was, when I had a second time surgery when they removed my ovary and uterus. Okay, it was not easy for me. Again, I'll tell you one turning point happened with me when I was 2023 in March. I went 9th to this doctor, Pranati Reddy in Rainbow, because before that we went a lot of places. I had a fibroid of 2 kg, almost 1700 grams 5 kg, weight fibroid in my stomach, just paining and all. A lot of doctors saw and all, they said you will have a relapse of cancer very soon because you are this history, this thing, and something is not matching your body, all the stuff. You might have to remove your uterus. I wasn't ready at all because I don't know the future, but I thought, okay, I prefer having my own child, right? I love kids. I'm a big fan of kids and pets a lot. So I thought I want to have a kid whenever I marry, or if I don't marry, so that's just a secondary, but I want to have my own child types. So they told me they have to remove the uterus. I said, no, I'm not going to remove my uterus. All this thing happened. I went to a lot of hospital and my doctor and all. Finally, when I went to Praniti Reddy on 29th Feb, she told me, I waited for 2.5 hours outside. That is very difficult to get her appointment, but through a connection of mine, I got an appointment. That 2.5 hours, because I went to so many doctors, I was tired, exhausted, hungry, thirsty, sitting and waiting in the vein with the pain and all. That day I realized, come what may, I'll remove my uterus. That's what, it's avoiding this so many hospital visit. I used to feel sad for, me being that age. Every time I'm going to hospital, that all alone by myself. But that's what I've chosen for myself at the same time. It's not
But
that.
didn't you wish you had somebody along with you, like a partner?
Of course I did, but then what's the guarantee? For me, what's the guarantee they'll stay with us, because they'll also have their own circumstances, right? But dependence again is more painful. It's you know it's very painful, the like, dependency. So yeah, that time
Are you
even
scared of being dependent on
a
someone?
lot, a lot, a lot. That's what I've realized very recently, that I'm very scared of getting dependent on anyone, especially emotionally. I'm very, very scared. So that's one thing. So I remember when I went there, I was sitting and I just realized, you know, once I go inside, I'll tell. I came here to all the way to tell you that I don't want to, you know, remove my uterus. So tell me what is the way to keep me protected. I mean, keep me protected at the same time my uterus. When I went inside, her assistant came. I told her this, my history and all the stuff. And then I said, you know, if they have to remove the uterus, you can remove because I'm tired of this thing and all. And I think it's okay. I was thinking of the one kid, but God has chosen me to make, protect, and take care of the other 10 kids. So I'm okay to take care of those 10 kids by keeping myself safe and protected. She wrote. Then I met the doctor. I met Praniti Reddy. She just looking at me like that. She like, how old are you? I said, I'm 31. 31. She's like, I'm proud of you. What do you do? And I was, you know what I was saying? I was saying, oh, she knows my Sarkar kitchen. I know how my work. I said, wow. I said, oh, you know I run Sarkar kitchen? She's like, no, what is that? I said, you just told me you're proud of me, what I'm doing. And like, she's like, you came with someone? I said, no, I came alone. Like, a girl of 31 comes to me and tell me you can remove my uterus is something that I've never seen in my 35 years career, she told me. That time I also realized, I said, oh, okay, that's why. She said, yeah, because it's not easy for anyone,
It
because we
isn't.
are not,
You
we never
need both
heard.
mental and physical
Yeah,
support.
we have never heard, and but this is the first time for me also coming alone, because generally parents, ye, wo, those, partner, koi aata hai. This is the first time in my life I'm seeing a girl comes to my this age and she can remove my uterus. But unfortunately, what happened? When they had went to remove the uterus, they had to realize that there was a kind of a developing, the cancer was developing in my ovary. So they had to remove the uterus and ovary both.
Okay.
That created my bone issues, because ovary protect your you know, bones and bone density and all. So that was a kind of, and cancer treatment, you know how is it? It's like they'll treat you from one thing, but they'll put you on the, you know, they'll just throw you in a sea and you have to learn to survive by yourself.
Okay.
That's how the cancer treatment. People ask me a lot of such question, but that's the reality of it. It is curable, but it has lots and lots of side effects. It's in a lot of strength, it's lots of emotional balance, it's in a lot of support from our surrounding. But I say, if you are not lucky to get this support from surrounding, you cannot sit and cry, right?
True.
You have to get up and do your things. That's one thing. Then again, the one more small turning point was when I met her, and I felt very proud of myself and maybe who I am today. So I met this doctor called Sri Devi for my some issue with the gyno, and she then before, you know, whenever you meet the doctor, you have to tell your history, right? I told, you know, I had this surgery, that surgery,
Correct.
this cut, that cut, and she's looking at me like this, like, and I'm smiling. The way I'm talking, I'm talking. She's like, I said, what happened, doctor? And she's like, I'm just wondering, the people who have small cut and come and cry, are they abnormal? Or you, after losing everything as a woman, you know, you had a breast surgery, you had a uterus, they have removed uterus, ovary, they have cut your stomach, they have cut your breast, everything. You're talking to me so easily, as if nothing, kuch ungli kata jaisa. If you're abnormal or they are abnormal, who's abnormal? I'm just thinking.
What was your answer?
I said, welcome to the life, I said.
Uh-huh.
And she's been, you know, she's become like, she always say, whenever she went to travel, we become like a good friend. She will message me. And I said, with this also, I'm going to Leh Ladakh. I'm going to bike ride and all those things. She's like, crazy. I said, yeah, I'm doing this all.
Did you ever think about marriage or getting into a relationship? How would that affect you?
It does. Even I thought about it multiple times. There was, you know, somebody I was seen also in between. But then people leave you for certain reason, I guess. Or maybe, I don't know, I'm bad in terms of, you know, I'm very unlucky when it comes to relationships. Maybe it doesn't work for me. Or at the same time, people, my friends and all, they started thinking, hey, how can somebody do this, that? But I said, I respect, everybody have their own choice, right? So a lot of people approach me by just seeing me, as I told you, you know, just by seeing my face and my work. The moment they understand how I am from inside, how badly I'm broken, they're like, difficult for us to handle. I said, yeah, you're more than welcome.
Why
to
do
go.
they say difficult to handle?
Because conditioning. People are not used to see. There are two kind. I met two kind of people. One, a guy says you're too strong for my family or for me. The other says like, you're so complicated. Other says that you're too sorted it out in your mind. Like, and the people are rest of the people, they're still figuring out themselves. So वो ऐसा नहीं कि I didn't want to settle down. I don't want to marry. Always I wanted. But having said that, there was a time also when I feel like a lot. But then having said that, I thought कि And then again, I said, I told my mom, I'll never marry and again this all. She told me, no, don't, never say never. Let things happen, let things unfold itself. Be open for things.
Do you ever get tired at all?
No, not at all. That's not the choice for me. As I told you, I'm only two. When people ask me how you are so strong, that's the only choice.
Is love a mistake or they are mistakes that happen in love?
I'm a very, I'm a disaster in terms of giving the love advice because I always felt that's very important fact. I wanted the first thing my parents love. So when they left me, so I got into my mind, people will leave you and people leave you anytime. That's something I can't give bad advice. But having said that, yeah, mistakes happen. We all are human beings, right? Love is not a mistake. I think because love is something which is very important in life.
Okay.
You know, when people used to tell that, business is a big risk, I said, marrying is the biggest risk for me, as I feel like. If I can marry, why can't you take a business risk?
Correct.
I always say, so our relationships are the biggest mistake in a way, if you're not understanding what you're doing. Same thing with the business. I feel I'm a person who believe in love, but I don't believe in marriage, very honestly. It's not that anything is wrong. I think equally everything is right in their own way. I feel if you love someone, you will love no matter what your relation is stagnant to the society. As I told you, I don't believe in a society, or I don't believe कि लोग क्या कहेंगे अभी भी. Today I had to come on a time, but I'm struggling to wear my own clothes because I do not have any help. Should I think what people will think? I just came, like I would just have some help from my team member. I didn't think what people will think and all this thing. I said, how I'm able to manage, how I'm able to fulfill my daily life, that's more important for me. And gracefully, of course.
True.
You can't be like, just anything.
Exactly.
You have to be gracefully. You do everything with the graceful. Even a breakup, even a leaving someone, even a saying someone, hey boss, whatever feeling I had for you, it's not there. Do it gracefully. We all are human beings. We make mistake. You make mistake. I make mistake. So there should be respect in among each and every relationship. Love should be always there. So for me, if somebody say shadi, I say shadi is something. I can marry someone, but I can always see somebody else. I can be never give a respect to him. But if I like someone, I'll give him a responsibility, respect. I give him the care. I give everything. Is it a tagline? I don't want it.
True.
It's just
What's
a tagline.
your coping mechanism for failure then?
Work more.
Okay.
Look for new thing.
Okay.
Work more. Look for new. That's it. As I told you, when I was failing for a few things. But as I told you, I'm still learning in my few things that I don't accept in the sense I try to hide things like under the carpet. Okay, for example, this glass broke. There was a time I was to get angry and all, but now I said, oh, khatam ho gaya, nikalo, get a new thing. I'll try to look, for example, that's my plant. There's a mud which is seeing black, it's spoiled, but I try to look above that, which is tree, which is very green.
But do you think there's one lie that we keep telling ourselves, but it isn't the truth?
What?
What could it be? Like, you might also have something that you have gone through.
So there was a time for, there's for all of us, if you like something or like someone, we always say the lie is, okay, it's going to be all right, it's going to be all right, it's going to be all right. The person going to come back, the person going to take care of it, the person going to respect you. So we don't accept the reality. The reality check is very important. It's very painful to accept. For example, we both become very good friends, okay? Some reason we cut off. I will think, okay, it's okay, she's angry now, but she'll come back and all. But I also should know your nature, that you will never come back.
True.
I have to tell my mind, see, I should respect her choice. Whatever happened. She's gone. She won't come back. And हमारा साथ उतना ही था. Always I believe one thing. I don't blame anybody whoever left me in my life, even my parents or whatever they have done, because I feel that's the only time we got. That's our journey was that much only. Some people come to your life, they do their needful and they go.
Correct.
My biological parents, I had so much of hatiness on them that I want to cut off them. I had a very violent, when I was a kid, I was very violent. I'm like, I want to go, I want to murder them, cut them, all those things is there in my mind. Eventually I realized their work was to just delivered me. They did their work. The other people who humiliated me, who tortured me, who have cut even, who harmed me mentally, physically and everywhere, the Bihar before meeting my parents, their duty was to make me meet my parents. That's it. My parents' duty, okay, today they might not do too much for me because it's not needed. Their duty was to take care of me, keep me safe.
Acceptance again.
You have to accept the reality is very important.
You are a person who think that if I can do, anyone can do it.
No, I don't believe that. That's the wrong thing.
You don't?
That's what my aunt taught me, you know. So I'll tell you one incident. I had so many surgery, I didn't cry much, but one of my cousins, she had a small finger cut and she cried as if the life is gone. I said, what the hell is the, why is she reacting so much when it's just small? My aunt told me, because you have gone through so much, so it doesn't hit you. But the other people have not gone through, right? So they have been very nice. I always tell all my friends, couple of friends like Burger Kid, you know, they have been pampered. They've grown up so much, so nicely. So they can't handle a small bite of a hand. Whereas I can accept a, you know, cut off my finger. So it's just that, you know, how you've been trained, how you have been, what was your life throughout? What was your journey? So your journey teach you everything for a fact. So you can't compare. And first of all, the biggest mistake we do is that we compare ourselves with somebody else, or we compare somebody else with ourselves. Like, if they are doing, I should do it. Why should I do it? I should do what I'm supposed to do it. So
True.
that's it.
What's one mantra of your life or rule of your life?
The way I'm a complicated person, I don't believe in one mantra. But as I told you, everything happened for a reason. So do not cry for anything. It will change. The way people say, you know, the way pain, you know, the smile doesn't stay for a longer, the pain doesn't stay for a longer. Everything has a change, everything has a face. So you have to keep moving, just keep moving.
Do you think one part of you is still missing somewhere?
I'm sure about it.
Do you ever feel or realize that this is what it is?
Yeah, I realize, because I feel that, you know, end of the day, I'm also a normal human being. So I feel a family, I look for a family. I still feel that I want to go back to my biological family, find out where they are, why they did that to me. My siblings, where are they? But my second mind says, why? Why to bring that pain again? Why to realize what happened with you?
One message that you would want to give to women who are weak, what would it be?
I don't take anybody as a weak for the matter. It's just that I feel it's like how you just see the life, right? How you accept how the people has trained you for a fact, and then how more than how you train your mind. So for me, no one is weak, no one is strong until unless you just train your mind to be accepted.
Nice. You are such an inspiration. Thank you so much. I love the way you have lived your past, but even more than that, breathtaking is how you look at your future. And I'm really proud of you.
Thank you so much.